it's Friday and there wasn't any theme this week on Friendship 2.0, but I thought since I was slacking the last few times we actually did have videos, I should do a video. So I am just going to be talking about random stuff today. Before I actually start talking, look it, can you see it? Can you see the awesomeness of Good and Evil Zuko? It's amazing, it is my baby. So basically what I'm going to be talking about is the way that I write. My writing process for the way I write my books, it has like 3 different steps until I actually do start writing. The first one is I have to like come up with the idea. Like I have to have the idea in my head, and obviously you have to have the idea to start writing, but I have to like have the idea and I have to have it planned from what's going to happen in the first chapter all the way to the end. And that is the first thing I do. Even before I have like characters or names or who's going to be bad and who's going to be good, I need to have a plan from beginning to end, or else my brain just goes poof. But as I do that, I will start off with little bullet points on each thing, and I will put main points at the top, or I'll put the title of it. And if I'm writing in third person, I will put like the name of the person and then their chapter points. When I write in first person though, like I do with Illustrato, which is the one I'm writing right now, I will just put a bunch of bullet points. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's just like a bunch of bullet points there, and then I will split it into chapters where I feel like the chapter is long enough and there's been enough information in that. So that is how I do the first step. I have to plan it, and I have to decide if I'm going to be writing in third or first person, so that defines the way that my layout is going to be. The next thing that I do is obviously I'm going to be deciding how many characters I need, what their names are going to be, where their backgrounds come from, and if they're going to be the good characters or if they're going to be the evil characters. Usually I'll have about 4 main characters that are just, they're the center of attention, and then I'll have like 5 or 6 other characters that are just like roaming around in places. When I'm writing like stuff like Illustrato, which is basically a science fiction fantasy book, I only have like 4 main characters that are going to surround it, and that is Sydney, Nikolai, Drake, and Brody. Those are the 4 main characters that this book surrounds, and then I have so many other characters that are supporting it. Sometimes I need more surrounding characters because they will help do something, and then sometimes I'll only need like 1 or 2 because there isn't much that my main characters can't do that they would do. So yeah. And then my third step, after I have all the characters' names and their origins and what they are and what their powers are, I go on to my main points page again, and I will put their names in, because when I do the main points thing first, I will do he or she or they as the names, and I will go into this and change the he, she, they into the people's names. And then I move on to the actual writing process, which is this. Basically, the hardest part for me is trying to come up with like the first sentence. Like the first sentence of a book is always the hardest, because the first sentence decides if your reader is going to keep reading or throw you in the trash can. So I spend at least like 3 days trying to think up these perfect first like paragraphs or lines, and I have like 6 of them. And then I will choose from like those 6 and be like, this is the best one out of you. You are the one I am going to use. So my first like paragraph form before Illustrato was this. Ordinary isn't a word I like to use. When people say they're only ordinary, it's a lie. No one is truly ordinary. There is something about every person that makes them special, makes them so much more than ordinary. Everyone has something, whether it's their abilities, smile, or laugh, that makes them so much more than they think they are. And then after that, I just start writing randomly. And my chapters, I try to get at least 2,500 words, because if you divide that by 250, which is the average word on an actual book's page, you get 10 pages. So I try to aim for at least 250 words per chapter, and that is how I slice up my chapters. A side note is I will probably be posting my fantasy novel, which is I Am Azul, on Fiction Press pretty soon. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave my Fiction Press thing down below. I will see you guys next Friday with a new video.